Okay, Ed here at STC, the CNC Dude. We're on to the last Titan building block part, the 10M. And this is Operation 2. And what we're going to do is, it just needs to go in a regular old vise. It's 8 inches long when it's finished. We have done it in the vise jaws that are 6-inch long, but if you have 8-inch long, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But it's technically, I'm going to just add a dimension here on my print. It's only 6 inches across the clamping area. So if you use hard jaws and parallels, would be just fine with 6-inch normal vise. Now, we're going to sit it on the flat surface with parallels, but we're not going to sit on the little bumps on the bottom. We're going to sit right there. And our Z0 is going to be top of the model. And we have measured that at be 0.639 from, we call this the banking surface. So if you touch off that surface, probe or manual touch off, you're going to shift up 639. Now we're also going to use work coordinate number 2, which is also known as G55. And we're going to do upper right corner. Now how we actually set that up, we always set it up without the part because you can't get at the part with the extra stock on the top. And we can put a 1, 2, 3 block against the work stop. And we're going to probe the X and the Y of the 1, 2, 3 block and then remove it and then put your part in. Okay, let's go over how to do it, right? Let me see here. Okay, I'm calling this my G55 side, which is also known as WCS1. I've labeled it here G54, G55. And also while I'm at it, sometimes if you're having a hard time with pending and a lot of calculations in here, you might want to look at a couple of settings. I have display in process stock here because I like to see it while it's I can click on any of these operations and see what it is at that point, but that might slow you down. Another one would be if you're in here and I have rest machining right from the front, but that's really not needed on this operation. And the other thing we have is, pardon that noise back there, we're using stock from preceding material. This is a really cool thing, but it also can take time because it's always trying to look back at the previous operation. So if you have some parts that have a hard time recalculating, if you take a stock model in from the previous file and do it that way, that works pretty good. Okay, let's see what we got here. We're actually going to start off with adaptive because it's actually a curve on that side. All right, I'm going to do 3D adaptive right up here with tool number 2 from the first operation, which is the 1/2-inch flat end mill. And normal settings, we got stock contours. It's already been identified. And we're going to do all model top settings. But personally, I liked on second operation with the extra material, I like to change all these to stock top. So I'm going to just adjust that. It's actually a safer setup. And model bottom is the bottom. Okay. And standard setups here, we're using 30% optimal load, which calculates out to 150 thousandths, and we're using stock leave of 10 thousandths in both directions. Okay. And that'll rough the top. And 3D adaptive is meant to do the curved shapes. Like this is going downhill. Where a face mill couldn't really do anything with that. All right, just give it a second to recalculate. Now, another setting you might want to use is, I like calling it step up. If you want to get it closer to the curve, right here, find step down. So I changed this number. It's usually 10% of this number, but I just set it to a finer setting to get that curve a little bit closer. All right, then we're going to go to a 2D adaptive just in these two areas. So 2D adaptive, we don't really use it too much here, but it's a really good tool. So we're only going to machine these areas right here. All right, I'm back again. So how you use 2D adaptive is you got to pick the areas right there. Well, I don't think I picked those correctly. Let me see now. Unselect. I'm going to reselect these. I'm going to pick that area there. That area there. Oh, it actually picked like a... Okay, like that. And I'm going to swing it around. I'm going to pick that floor and that floor. And I'm using this, I'm using a 1/4 inch flat end mill here. The tighter area. And the heights will all be model top now. It says, and the bottom will be selected contours, or you can also use selection right there. Because technically they're all at the same level. And we're using least on stay down level, 400 inches a minute on non-engagement feed rate with a 10,000 lift height. And we're using 10 and 10 on the stock to leave. All right. And what that does, it'll rough this area up. Okay. Let me get this resumed here. Back to this one. Okay. If I click on this one, this is what it's going to look like after that operation. Next is going to be 2D pocket. That's going to take care of this area, make it nice and flat. That would be also the same 1/4 inch flat end mill. And I'm going to pick these as pockets right here. And it's nice if you can get it to be blue all over, so it doesn't try to go inside there. Then we're going to add bore to do these holes. Same tool 4 from operation 1. And how you use bore is you select the circular face. So we're actually doing this face right here. So if I could deselect it right now and I select it, those 4. And my settings will be model top and hole bottom. All right. Then we're going to have to use the scallop operation again, going down the hill. So we're going to use the ball end mill, the 1/2 inch ball end mill tool number 6, with the 3D contour feed and speed settings. And right here, avoid or touch surfaces. So what I did is I click on this. Let me just shut some of this off. Over. And we're machining all up top there. You could actually click on everything, but this has already been machined here, 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 and here. And what we're trying to do is just machine all this top right here. Because it does go downhill, and it's not flat on the top. Now I had this 24 touch faces, so I'm going to just unclick that again. What we're going to do is we need this surface right. Let me see if I can get it. Touch. I'm going to click this on and get that surface there, right? And want to get all these little ones. That one, that one, that one, that one. Oop. Gotta be careful when you click on these. Don't click everything. Make sure it all doesn't turn blue. You gotta get, okay, let's try this again. This one. This one, if you hover over it for a second, and if it all changes like that, you do not want to click. It's going to pick everything. I'm going to go up here and pick that one. That one. Let's get this one while I'm here, and I'm going to get that little area right there. That's all we really need right there. Okay. And go to hit OK. So this is going to ball and mill those areas. Whoop. Oh, you know what? I think I selected it wrong. One. Touch surface. The opposite. I did it as a void. See what happens here? It actually tries to go inside here. So I go in, hit edit. Another way you can do it, it's actually, I don't know why it's trying to go in there. If you pick the whole model, right, and then you go to here and say, I want to avoid. Problem is you got to click on the side here. So I'd rather do it as touch. I want to touch that surface right there. I'm going to do that by itself, but I want to see if it tries to go inside again. Let me see. I think I'm going to do those independently. Right, I'm going to go back to here. I'm only going to do that top, that one, that one, that one, and let's see. Make sure you hover for a second. That one and that one. Hit OK. Okay, that'll take care of that surface. Also, on your what we call a step over, I have it set at 0.25 thousandths. Now, if you want to get it closer together, but I did this for simulation purposes so I can test it out. You can actually look at it when you get to the simulation phase and actually take a look and see if you want a little smoother finish or not. All right, now I'm going to I'm going to duplicate that operation, edit. I'm going to go unselect this. So now I'm going to try to do machining boundary. I'm going to try to see if I can keep it inside here. Or, you know what? Maybe I did full inside boundary? Oh, center on boundary. No, let's do inside boundary. I'm going to try doing this again. Unclick that. Click that only. Hit OK. Oh, yep, it's going the wrong way. Okay. Back to this. Unselect that. Put this tool center. I'm going to pick selection right there. I'm going to hit touch that surface there. There we go. Now that controls it a lot better. All right. Okay. So I'm going to just duplicate that again. Duplicate. Edit. Disconnect that and that. I'm going to do selection again. I'm going to click on this. There. That one there. I'm going to say touch only. Good. So now we get all three. I'm also going to use trace, which is the way we do chamfering also in here, in this area here. I'm going to turn those on. So there's trace. Now this will require a lot of selections. So I'm going to use the 1-inch 90-degree chamfering mill, 45-degree, and I got to select all these boundaries and make sure the red arrows are on the inside. Right. So in trace, we're going to use 0. We're going to turn on chamfer. So for now, we're going to leave it at 0 and just see what we get. But these don't seem to be defined in the model. So I'm going to put 0.005 there. That'll move the chamfer out a little bit. Right. If it doesn't seem to go all the way around inside, make sure you have the tip offset. If it's on 0, it won't go down. All right, got one more trace here, and that's going to be these corners. So we got to also do trace again. And that'll be these boundaries right here. We're just going like right around there. On both ends. Blue line all the way around that area. We're also going to do that area right there. This is going to be a little tricky on this side. So this one, we're just trying to do a straight line. And sometimes you pick the line, it's trying to pick the wrong thing. So I'm going to go edit. Get 2 chains. I'm going to just disconnect this. Try this again. I'm going to hit right. I can click that one there. But we don't want that little line. I click on the line again, and I'm going to actually. I only want to click what I want. I want open chamfer. I'm going to start right there and pick that one. And we got to get rid of that one. Click that to disconnect. Now it's not trying to machine the insides. So I'm going to add one more. It's going to be pick this line here, but I don't want this extra. I'm going to just click on it again. Click on this. But I want this one. That one. Do want this little line there. Accept. Oh, up there I see you got a mistake up there. This again. Make sure that one's off. This one again, that's double click and shut that one off. I'm going to add this little tiny line right there. And I believe we have this one already from the other side. Plus, okay. What else do we have here? We got to drill these holes, which are now going through this way, right? And they're actually straight holes. I don't know if we did them from that side. No, these are chamfer. I'm sorry. These are little chamfer holes. They're not really drilled. We just want it for chamfering purposes. I'm going to use the 1/4-inch spotting tool with the drill feed and speed. And we just pick these faces, but we only want it for chamfering purposes. So the setting on that will be hole top minus 0.075. But we want it to look like it's just barely in there. Let's do a quick simulate. And I actually been adding something called manual NC comment. And I actually put in my comment here where the G55 is. And also the comment on the 639 upper bank. So if you don't have your setup sheet, if you build it into your G code, it'll be right in the top of the file. So when you do that, a lot of times you add it in later. It's down here somewhere. Just drag it and put it before all the tools, right after the setup. All right, let me check the time on this. Time is 14 minutes. Okay. Let's see which ones take the longest. This one here, 549. I'm using the almost 8,000 RPM at 2,000 per tooth. Now, I'll tell you, we've been running this 2,000 per tooth or 45 inches a minute, but to be honest with you, we've been able to run it a little bit faster. So I'm just going to put it at 3. That increases the feed rate to 68 inches a minute. And that's now only 3 minutes, 50 seconds. So if I click here, and actually right down in the right-hand corner, it says machining time 12:17. All right, it's time to post the code. And I'm actually wondering about this model here. I'm going to take a look at this. Why is it not green in that corner? Shut off the body. Click on this. And this would be what it's supposed to look like at this point. This is another way to check surface finish. You can see, kind of look at how it looks. It's in the end, let me get this 3-0 here. This is really what's going to happen right there. All right, I could turn the body back on. There we go. All right, time to post the code. Now I'm using the NC program setup here. I'm just going to, for now, I'm going to delete this. Oh, I'm sorry, delete this. All right, let me just click on this to get it to pivot around. Now, the new NC program is this style. And I get the program numbered and everything. And I can check that the operations are selected. And I'm in inches. And I want open NC file and editor. Yes. Make sure I got the classic mill machine, right? And for now, don't open create in browser, because it'll kind of operate the way we've always run it. I'm going to post. I'm going to post the code. And here's the tools. 2, 2, 4, 5, 6. Here's my comment line right there. That'll help me set it up. And that's ready to go. Now, if you're not in tune with the new NC program, if you do create in browser, oh, let me click on this again. It'll do all those operations the same, only it stores it right here. Now, if you go back here again, let me click on that. To post it again. It used to end up with multiple programs here, but this is good. This says a warning that says multiple offsets are in use. So technically that meant if I click both these operations, I'm only doing one. Let me try this again. And now it doesn't do it. So if you had clicked both of these operations, that's got 2 work coordinates. So if that's how you intend on running, which if you were running both vices with operation 1 and left-hand vice and operation 2 and the right-hand vice, you could tie them both together that way. You can also use NC program this way if you want to leave it out here. Click on the warning. Yep, that's okay. That's not anything wrong with that. And you can repost the code from here. You can also do a setup sheet from here, or you can do some edits, basic edits. But I've been doing it with do not create in browser, and it's a simple form and it works pretty well. Now I just noticed here when I clicked on it, it didn't have my name and number up there. So if I make sure I just click on this and click on that again, and now all my information I have in there that I put in the setup is in there. I'm going to shut off create in browser, hit post, and overwrite the code. And make sure the path to wherever your USB is sitting. Okay, that's about it for me. Quite a long program here, 24 minutes. Talk to y'all later. Congratulations for doing all 10.